Welcome to the episode Middle Ground with J.L.E. L.L.C, where we treat you like family. That's the theme song Detroit Love off my first album, The J.L.E. Experience. I own the music and copyright, so don't mute nothing Facebook. We got another great awesome guest here today. We have featured top 15 coaches in Houston influence. We have the video marketing producer and founder of Next Level Consulting Agency, Sheree Mahabir. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, 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 everybody.
And we're going to get started with the first question. What led you to this path?
What led me to this path is that I wanted to leave a legacy for my daughter. And when her father passed away in 2018, I knew that it was upon my shoulders to do something. And when I started my first business in 2019, it was a virtual assistant. So I didn't know about online marketing. I didn't understand live, but then came the opportunity, hey, you need to get testimonials. And it was placed on my heart, hear their journey. So now comes 2020, and here we are. I'm trying to build visibility to my business, but I'm not sure how. I see Ed Milet, Lewis Howes, Jay Shetty, Gary Vee going live. And I thought, I know this is how I can do it. Because before I was thinking, well, I need to have a studio, I need to have the right equipment. But that's not the case. Here are these individuals who are just going live on their phones and using what they had. So I saw my friend going live on Instagram. That's when I said, that's it right there. I'm going to go live on Instagram. I'm going to start a show. I asked 9 people to go live with me. They all said no. The 10th one said yes. And
Nice.
that's how it all started, with going live on Instagram and bringing people on to share their story, give them a spotlight so that we can learn from them, and also give them the opportunity to be able to have others see their products, their services, and get to know them as well.
Wow. My condolences for your loss. And you were brave, because I got to do more going live on Instagram. I don't just pop on and like, what up? How you doing? I got to start doing it, though. So what
Well,
is next? Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, if you're starting out, you're trying to figure out, well, where should I go live? Right. And if no one told me at the time, I need to go live where my clients, my ideal potential clients are. And
Okay.
until you know who that person is, it's going to be difficult because you're going to be going live on so many platforms. But if you know who that person is, that one person that everybody talks about, because of course, Jeffrey, was it easy to go live at first? Was it easy to be
I was
on camera?
terrified.
Right. Especially in the beginning for myself,
Oh,
I was
man.
petrified. If you could see how much weight that I lost from the amount of sweat that I had, I was so nervous. I would
Man.
even, I was
Don't
on
know,
the
boy.
perfection train. I wanted to
Uh-huh.
make sure I said everything right. And that was just when I realized, stop, just be who you are. The truth is, I started with a hair tie like this. This was my hair, my stand, a hair tie, a
Ooh.
globe, and a jewelry box and a ribbon holding my phone. I was so embarrassed to show that. And then I realized this is my beginning. Even when I started going live on LinkedIn, I used boxes. And for a very long time, I was
Get out the
shy
mud,
to
baby.
express that. It was a plastic cart.
Hey,
That's what I had for a very long
hey,
time
hey,
until
you get out the
November.
mud, man. You learn something. For real.
And then in November is when I said, last year, I said, I don't feel like sitting back here in the corner. I went to the desk where my daughter has her, because she's not home, she's in college. I went to her desk, and that's how I had the setup. So for anybody who's watching the replay, joining us on the live, know that use what you have. You don't have to have the greatest setup. We don't see what's around you. We see what's behind you. So
Man, room
I'm
table.
in a Keep it clean. Like if you have one corner in your house that's super clean, super simple, use it. If you want to know my backdrops, in the beginning, my backdrop was a picture, and then I would put a sari or a blanket. So
Okay.
nobody. So if you want to know how you can go live on a budget, that's how I went live on a budget.
Man, I'm a big Kobe fan, so when I was sitting there like, you gotta hit live. Hey, my mentality. You gotta do it. That's the task God put you on. You gotta suck it up. And hey, you have a mistake, it happens. You learn from it.
We do. You got to start somewhere. I would say we're so scared to take the first step, but then when we take the
Man,
first step,
correct.
we learn, hey, it's not so bad. And it's crazy how people will come out to support you, how
Yeah.
people will say, hey, you're doing a good job. I really enjoyed your live show or your videos. And here you are so focused on, they're going to see my gray hairs. We got to touch up. Or they're going to see my psoriasis, or I have
Okay.
gained weight, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way I sound or look, but nobody's paying attention to that. All the things that you're focused on are not the things that others focus on. Unless it's like really, really obvious, such as
Mm-hmm.
it's it's way too cluttered in the background, or your quality of sound is not where they can hear you. They're not paying
Mm-hmm.
attention to all the things you're looking at.
Yeah. I mean, I find it real cool that some people watch on my YouTube channel, Middle Ground with JLE, and they watch it on the TV like they watch the TV show. I'm like, wow, that changed my mindset. Like, yeah, you got more than just a podcast, a TV show now. So think in terms of a show you have and how you want to keep moving it forward for the better. And that's what I try to work to do to make sure I'm doing the task that God put me on, help you find purpose, and always making sure I live by a tagline where I treat you like family, make each guest feel very at home and welcome to share their story. Which brings to the next question. What is Next Level Consulting Agency?
This is funny because I never really named my agency, but now that you said it, Next Level was formed because at first it was Next Level Consulting to help
Mm-hmm.
people. But then when I started going live, and then I realized after my 100th live that, hey,
Wow.
yeah, my 100th live is when I realized, this is June of 2021, that I don't like my VA business, and that I have a passion of helping people get on camera to share
Mm-hmm.
their story. And so this evolution of I help entrepreneurs create engaging videos to make money took time. It wasn't overnight. So here I am putting the pieces together, figuring out what do I
Mm-hmm.
like. My coach at the time asked me, well, how many out of the 100 did you help go live and do videos? And I said 40. So that's how the second business started. Now we're in 2022. But before I get to 2022, I started the second business in June. And then December of 2021, 9 days before Christmas, I was laid off. So now I have started a business that has provided me income every month. And I just said, let me go into it full time. So last year is when I really worked as a full-time entrepreneur. That in June, I realized that one of my clients who I did a 90-minute session with,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, hey, I don't want to do all of this. I want you to do it. And so we started, that's when I was like, you know what? I actually know how to do all of this. We can take care of it. My team and we can take care of the graphics. We can take care of the setups, the tech that comes up. Like, for example, on my Thursday live show, the guest sound wasn't proper. So working with her to make sure that she had the sound, if she had to log off, log in, all of these things that if you're still new in the game, you start to sweat, you start to panic, you start to freak out, you start to wonder, is anybody watching? All this looks so bad. But when you have a remote producer like myself and my team, we're in the background holding your hand so that you're not feeling alone. And that's how the agency came to life, along with figuring out. People started asking, do you do LinkedIn banners? Do you do quote posts? Do you do uh, logos and branding? Do you do, and all of these things are all part of the agency, but what you hear about is more if you are looking to go live or if you are wanting to start a podcast but don't have time for it. This is where my team and I come in, because if you look at the statistics for live streaming
Mhm.
shows and even podcasts, after about the 12th episode is when people stop, because it's either costs or it's because of time. It's because it's taking up too much resources and they'd rather use it for something else. So if we're having a team, we take care of all of that. And at the same time, we are working with you, getting advertisers, working with you to get the right guests so you get in front of the right audience. It's also looking at leads, because your show can be a lead magnet as well, whether it's the guests or it's the ones that are interacting with your show.
No, what's a lead magnet?
So, a lead magnet is, for example, you have a freebie, something that you're going to give a value to another person. I made a huge mistake this last week, but I have no problem sharing it. And that was, I have created a freebie, which is best tips to go live. If you would like to get a copy, you can link. If you tap on my link tree, then you will see the tips and download it. What I did was I reached out to the individuals who had downloaded it and I sent a video asking for feedback. But what is the value if I'm only asking for myself? It should have been more about how how can I help you? How has that freebie helped
Mhm.
you? And let's jump on a call and I can provide you with additional tips to help you with live streaming
Okay.
or video. So this is what a freebie is. It's giving you value. It's not about what you can do, it's how you can help others. So for you, Jeffrey, it could be best tips for starting a podcast, or if you are a mindset coach, what are some, like, what are things that someone can do to start their morning? Or if you are a auditor, I'm just making it up, but you could use a checklist. It's just something to give value, and then it
Mm-hmm.
also allows you to grab their emails. So then what happens is now people can be drawn to your, what we call a sales funnel. So you have the freebie, you got their email, now they're
Okay.
in your emails, and you can talk about your podcast if they want to be a guest on your podcast, and you can use the podcast to funnel in somebody that you want to work with, or it could be just to hear stories, because sometimes as entrepreneurs we may not know what people are facing, but we could ask questions that could help us with our business. So, for example, for myself, I always wonder, why is it that you start a live streaming show, but you're not continuing it? Or why is it that when you're looking at video that you always, I love this excuse, this myth or this objection, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. When you have kids, you have a business, but it's more about, do you know what to say? Is it the script writing? Is it the feeling that you don't like the way you look, sound? What is it?
That's a great point. I know when I came up with my questions, I thought very basic, but I've been told, oh, that's really great. I'm like, well, thank you. I'm trying to keep it real simple to the point so it flows and it's really endorsing and highlighting what the person has done. Because as I've learned from Clarine Mitchell, she's a former guest, shout out to her. She taught me on LinkedIn, you need to always keep updating on what you got going on because that's a snapshot of you. So if they go click on you right now, like, okay. And like I just really updated mine to where I'm mainly doing podcasting. So even though I am a custodial supervisor at SBM, I'm mainly doing this. So people need to see that in the front. compared to that. So that jumps out like, oh, he does. Oh, he does. Okay. Hey, and people reach out to me now because I used to be terrified to reach out to people. I'm like stranger danger. Like, we can go to this guy page. What he want? What show he got? But then after a while, kept going. Now people like, hey, I seen your page. Check the episode. Love what you're doing. I love to be a guest collaborator. Like, okay, sure, no doubt. Let's do that. Now, you're a video marketing producer. What is a daily responsibility of that title?
So it's when you're live streaming, and I love this question. When you're live streaming, you have a remote producer who's taking care of setting up your show. If you're using Restream or StreamYard, getting the
Mm-hmm.
guests prepared, making sure their lighting and sound is it's clear. It's not looking all, you can't hear them. Then there's also walking the guests through, because many times they're nervous. You don't know what kind of day they had, and being able to talk to them so they're ready for the interview. Because many, seen this where they're flustered and and it took too much to get logging into the actual live, but then just
Okay,
talking to them, making them feel comfortable so that they are at their, I want to say, at their best when they show up for your show. And then
gotcha.
there's also the graphics, there's also the background, there is also the, okay, let's look at what are your colors for your show. Why would you want to have these particular colors? Your branding, basically. And then
Okay,
understanding who, if you have your guest lineup, that's great. But if you need my team and I to look for guests for you, we will be able to do that. We'll also provide with the follow up, because there's a system. Many times we book somebody, but then where are they? How can you keep the engagement and
yeah.
keep the individual who you booked to make sure they show up? I will say, in my career of 3 years of live streaming, I've had at least, I can count on my hand, 5 people that canceled on
Mhm.
me and never came back. And all the other people, it's because of all of these automated responses and reminders and touch points to make sure that they show up for the show. Because it's not, and remember, because why should someone be on your show? Why should anybody take their time to share with you?
That's
Why
true.
should anybody? And it's the same thing with you. Like, why would I want this person on my show? It's your time is valuable. So it should be a marriage between both.
I agree. I've had a few people for whatever reason, whether stuff came up or maybe they didn't want to do it that day, which is fine as well. My backup would be, well, I told people to have a show, so we still going live, and I'll figure out something to talk about. I'm a creative. I'll find something to talk about. That's all I learned to do, and sometimes those be the funniest ones. Like, well, I'm rescheduling them because they reach back out. They still want to do it. Like, okay, but you know what? Today, let's talk about. I'm a Marvel DC guy. I checked out this DC movie and it sucked because of this and this. And people laugh like this dude's talking about like, yeah, hey, I'm gonna entertain you because you here. And so I want you not to come like, man, this dude had people cancel. He don't even do a show, so don't mess with that guy. Don't watch his show. So no, you come to middle ground. If I say it's a show that day, unless something really wrong, it's gonna be a show at 8 o'clock on Friday or 7 o'clock on Saturday. If I gotta do it myself, or hey, well, I'm call the fellas. We just gonna talk about sports or something. Whatever I gotta do, you still gonna get a
I
show.
love, I love that. It used to, in the beginning, nobody told me that. I actually, if a guest canceled, then I would cancel. But then I learned later, just show up. And that is when I learned how amazing, like my fear started to come up when I would go live by myself. Now it's, now people are begging to go. Well, actually, they're not asking to go live with me. I would love, they still do, but what I'm saying is they would like to see me alone more, because when you go live alone, then that you can also share insight in how you help others. So if you
Yeah.
are a mindset coach and if you're always going live with other people, then there's an episode where you go live by yourself and now you can give, maybe it's a use that live to draw people into your coaching program or your, in my case, a 21-day video challenge
Mhm.
or group coaching program. Or it could be for Jeffrey, hey, I'm looking for my next guest to be on my show and I want to share your story with my community.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess getting a business degree at Mike Illich may have helped that because I'm like, well, I mean, I'm big on all you got in this world is your word. So if you said something, you need to do it, even if you really didn't want to. But damn it, you said it, so go do it. Cry about it later. You should have said you want to do it then. So I'm real
How many
stickler
things
with
in
that.
life did you want to do? Raise your hand. If you're watching the live, drop a heart. If you're catching the replay, drop a heart. How many things in life did you not want to do, but you're so glad that you did it?
Mm-hmm.
Because how many doors open? Like that last one, if you're in sales, making that extra call,
Mm-hmm.
doing another reach out, not getting discouraged because your first round of sending out videos to people that downloaded your freebie didn't go as planned. Don't get discouraged. It's part of
And
the process.
and it's crazy because people ask like, you don't really do the video by yourself no more. You talk about all the topics like, well, I plan to do another show that'll cover that. So that like, well, okay, you almost at season 10, so you need to start giving the education and entertainment aspect of the brand where you talk about other topics. So friends have them come up with ground floor, come on tonight at 10:30, where right now we're in the topics of relationships and all the different subtopics, but it's gonna cover everything else. So that'll be fun, engaging, panel guest type thing. But because customers started mentioning that, like, so they actually like me talking, right? I'm like, huh. Well, at least try to do 20 minutes. I don't know what I'm talking about today because the guest council, but figure something out. So now I definitely try to script stuff out more as you do it more. And the more you do, the more you learn. I've researched other people's stuff to hone my skills and get better as an interviewer and just flow of a show. So I have learned that about flow of a show. You having those challenges with your show? That's awesome that I've checked out as well.
Yes, I'm always looking at what others are doing. I watched it was a video that my friend reposted in his stories on Instagram. And the person was talking about how, don't focus on comparing a child and then saying that you
Mm-hmm.
and feeling less than. Well, you need to look at what your competition is doing. You need to see who is out there the best and how can you be at that level. What are they doing that I can implement? My first Instagram live 50 sucked. It really sucked.
Okay.
However, what you see is I didn't give up. I'm always for the long game. I learned how to create a very fun and interactive opening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And this is what I'm known by. Everybody who's been watching me since the
Okay.
Instagram. I'm still on Instagram, but that's what I'm known for. The welcome, welcome, welcome. And then there's the when I moved over to LinkedIn, now there's a strategy that I use. So there are people looking at and watching what I'm doing. Just like I have been watching other people, and I'm always looking, how can I level up? How can I get better at what I do in my craft? When I had my car accident in December, that's exactly what I was doing. I didn't have a car, so I was walking everywhere, but I
Ah,
spent a lot of time really honing in on the craft. I still believe that I can be better. I don't even think I'm as near as where I could be. But
we here.
for somebody who's watching this, even you would be like, wait a minute. She's so like this is what she does. I will always say I can be better. And every live is a practice to an opportunity that is in the works in the behind the scenes that you don't know about. So if you're
Mhm.
afraid to present, if you're afraid of public speaking, or if you are saying, hey, I have an idea and I want to be able to put it out there, live streaming video helps you do that. Just like Jeffrey just said, he said, hey, I need to organize my thoughts so that I can go live. Maybe you don't go live for 20 minutes, you go live for 5 minutes, you go live, then the next time 10, then the next time 15, and you learn to organize yourself. You find topics that are relatable to what you do and why would it be important for somebody else, or asking, polling the community, hey, what are things that you need help with that for in my example, it would be, what are the three things that stops you from going live? And I would list them out. And then based
Okay.
on that is how I would create my episodes. Number one, number two, number three. And here's a lovely tip for all who are watching. On LinkedIn and on Instagram and TikTok, they show you who voted. So you can actually reach out to the person when you go live and say, hey, thank you for voting on my last poll. I actually did a live. I'm about to do this live and I would like to invite you. And then if they don't respond back or they don't show up, then you actually send them like, hey, I know that you asked for this and I just wanted to let you know here is the live. They will check it out. And that's how
Okay.
you start the conversation. So if you are wanting for more tips like this, definitely look on the link below. These are the things that we help clients do to be able to build that engagement, because you can, live streaming is about community building. How do you do
Now,
community building? These are
and
small things to do.
that leads right into that you do coaching entrepreneurs to make engaging videos. What makes a video engaging?
Because you speak directly to the pain points, or you speaking to the person. Who is the person? The person is the individual that your services are there for. If they are looking for confidence to get on camera, then what are the things that are stopping them? If you're a mindset coach, what are the things that gets in the way of why someone feels that they're not good enough, that they're not smart enough? For you, Jeffrey, think about what is something that you would want, what is something that people continuously ask you questions on, right? Like, what do they come to you to help, asking for help for? And then asking the community, is this what you're looking for? And when you put it in a poll, it's easy to find out, because what you think they want is not necessarily what they really want. You
That's
come to
pretty,
find out it's like something way off field. You're like, wait, really?
pretty awesome. Now, you're featured as the top 15 coach in Houston influence. Talk about that a little bit. That's pretty awesome.
I was shocked when I found out. I had no idea. It was not like they said, hey, we would like to do an editorial piece on you. It was, hey, you have been listed as, or named as the top 15 coaches. And I thought, wow, I've I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm honored. This is also around the time that I started my Facebook community, because I
Okay.
had mentioned earlier, I never had anybody to turn to and ask, hey, does this video make sense? Or
Hmm.
when I go live, what are some things that I should keep in mind? And that's why I created my Facebook community, where I also provide exclusive content that's just for the community. I go live in there. I also do networking events, hot seat moments. We're also in the works of doing a challenge next week, Wednesday, where I will show you a few things to help you create a live streaming show that is engaging to others. The things that you learned with the live streaming can be applied to video. And this is all the community that I had always dreamed of having, and I've
Okay.
made it.
That's awesome. Again, congrats on being in the top 15. Now, we're at the segment to promote, market, what you got going on. Floor is yours.
So I've been putting them
You
in,
been
but right
doing it
now,
already. I
right
like
now
how
I
you, I like
have
the song.
Right now, I do have the agency, the team and I, where my team and I will work with you, walk you through, like we did with one of our clients. He wanted to have a live streaming engaging show, but did not know where to begin. So we worked with him to understand what is it that he wants to, the messaging he wants, what's his goal for the show. And then we created a lot of buzz to get people onto, hey, there's this new show about to come out, and then creating the graphics, getting the guests, providing the technical support, and then converting those into audio clips. And then if you want a podcast, this is how the podcast is formed. And then I also have group coaching. This is part of the challenge. So I am
Nice.
going to be doing small group coaching where I will teach you what is stopping you from showing up on camera, all the way to going into creating the scene, which is the lighting, the background, script writing, where to find content, to building community with live streaming show. We are going to help, I am going to help you create your live streaming show, and then you will be able to do this on your own. I also have a 21-day video challenge that is going to be starting March 1st. So if that's something for
Nice.
you, come and join. So these are the few things that I have going on. It seems like a lot, but these are just the three main things that I have.
Have you thought about writing a book?
I did write a book.
That spider sense
So here's the
okay.
funny part. My fourth or fifth live interview in 2020, my guest, he introduced me to an author who was doing it was an anthology, pivot anthology, and it was 19 of us. I was the 20th one, and we all provided our story. So I became a published author because of live streaming. These are opportunities that came due to
Nice.
live streaming has helped me start a business that now I am able to help others and impact others. Live streaming, the shows that I've been doing for so long have helped others be able to start a business, been able to see collaborations. I've been able to see others in early in their career, and they're now exploding in their career.
Nice. Since I published 2 books, it's like a spider sense. Is that an author over there you talking to? Let's
I
check and
am.
see.
I am an author.
It's either they done it. I was thinking about like, yep, it's a spider sense. You're talking to one.
Either you, but I always say, don't assume, just ask. And once you
Mhm.
find out, you're like, oh,
Yeah. Now, what has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
ooh, the biggest challenge has been the belief in myself. This is one thing that a lot of people, when you start any business or you start stepping out of your comfort zone, you
Mhm.
question, is this even possible that you can do? Sometimes the fear is so much you won't even do it. I remember in 2021, my fear of being on, and it was an audio room, I would go live all the time, but audio rooms really did scare me because now I
Wow.
had to really share what is it that I have of value to share to others, not realizing that I always had value. Hey, I have, by the time I started, Clubhouse started, came around, I had already done like close to 60 live interviews on Instagram.
Wow.
And I had built a blueprint of how to market, how to get the guests, how to write the questions, how to engage with the community. Yet I still question my abilities. And it took until last year to finally say, enough is enough. You know what you're doing. We all make mistakes, just like I did this week, actually. It's not last week. And you live and you learn.
Yeah. I mean, I periodically have those doubts and questions about God told you to do this. You're going to make you taking it the right direction. Then I get reminded, like, yeah, keep going. You
Keep
going.
on
You
going.
going left. That's right. Just keep going. Like, all right, I'm going the right direction. Have you ever used the
Mhm.
LinkedIn audio events?
I have not created one on my own, but I have been on other people's to support them, or I was asked to lead the room. They wanted me as a guest instead of doing a live streaming show like this. They asked me to come in. I truly believe all using all forms of communication, because it's a funnel, right? If you think about it, someone finds you on your post, whether they met you in person or they found you on social media. They're going to come to your social media. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to check out all of your posts. What do
Yep.
you have to offer? What do you do? And then they're going to check
Yep.
out your videos. Then they're
Yep.
going to check out your live streaming show, because then they want to talk to you and see who you are. And I've noticed that some people use live streaming as a platform to stream. This is just what I've seen so far. If you say okay to somebody who is asking you to share your profile and you're not in the live, you have to think about this. What does that do for your business? What does that do for your credibility? Because if you look at somebody wanting people to connect with you and you're not on the live, how can they do that? This is what live streaming is for people to have the chance to say, okay, I'm going to ask my question in the comments, or I'm going to ask in the DMs. And then the next step is an audio room where then they can get on stage with you and ask more questions. And then it
Mm-hmm.
leads to a Zoom call. Even if you don't do an audio room, but you're doing live streaming, it can still lead to a Zoom call, because you got to think about, we want to build a relationship with the person. Many of the coaches, even the lawyer that I am working with for my accident, I interviewed them.
Nah.
I
Okay.
interviewed him.
Yeah, my goal is to interview all career fields I've been tasked with. So I have days where I go through the network and just scroll through, and I get a good vibe. I start hitting connect, 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 connect. Some reach back, some don't, or some like, I didn't know who you was. You wanted to connect, but then I saw your show. Like, I want to be a part of that. Like, okay, cool, let's do it. And then
Hey, I
give
booked
you
a
that shout
guest.
out. You showed
I
me how
booked a
to make.
guest.
What you about to say?
Oh no, you were saying I showed you how to use Calendly and build it out for
Yeah.
longer.
Hey,
Yeah.
I give that shout out because I thought you can't go past 2 months. I ain't know that. You like that came in the clutch. And I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, pick what's good for you. It's always available.
That was a question that came up in the Facebook group. So that's why I was like, wait a minute, I know this answer real quick. But because that's a question that comes up. You don't, here's even a common question. How do you go through the booking process? If you've never have been a guest on anybody's podcast or live show, there is a form. And some people don't know how to go through the form. It's really, we would think that they know, but sometimes you gotta think about it. Have patience with everybody, because some people, what you know and are comfortable with, not everybody else is. So just gotta take your time, and
That's in the
you'll
works.
be surprised. You'll be surprised. I've seen it all. Even when the guest struggles to get onto the platform, I still have a lot of patience, regardless of how I send out so many reminders and emails. It still happens.
I, yeah, I can believe that. Now, when you reflect on your work with your community and profession, in your words, what do you feel is your impact?
Making them feel seen and heard, making them feel that they're part of something bigger. And for those who didn't get that feeling, I always wonder, where did I miss it? Because it happens, right? Like, there are
Yeah,
some who always feel like I was strongholded into this, or it I just didn't feel it was necessary. Well, that was also the lesson of, they just weren't the right fit. They weren't the right person
yeah,
for this program. But I do know this much. With live streaming and video, if you're saying no today, I guarantee you in 2, 3 years, you will be saying yes.
I agree because I've noticed some guests in the beginning would come on like this. I don't know if they think I'm going to say, okay, you was at that club at 2 in the morning, wasn't you? No, this we ain't doing that. This is about you, what you achieved, celebrating. And then they were like, oh, okay, I can have fun now. Like, cause you can't answer that last question like this. I need you chill. Give me that Yoda game. So what do I need to do to be chill? When they realize it, they're like, okay, cool. Like, okay, like yeah, this ain't Dan Rather nobody. This is chill spot, safe space. Which brings to the last
Absolutely.
question. What advice do you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
This is a wonderful question. Thank you for asking it. All the questions were great. This one
I think.
is really this is a one that so many of us for so long are trying to figure out, why am I here? What is it that what is my purpose? One of the exercises I started with the
Mm-hmm.
storytelling. So for leveling up, I'm always leveling up. I want to get better in storytelling. And one of the tasks was write down all of your experiences where you had a life changing experience, an impact. And you will start to see how these small things add up to where you are today. And I never realized until much later, which is my 100th live, that I love helping people get past their fears that are holding them back from what they are able to do. Yes, video is the medium, live streaming is the medium, but you're more than that. It could be that you realize that you can do so much more. My 21-day video challenge has shown the individuals who started with it, it was a challenge. They had to create video every day,
Mm-hmm.
but they learned that they are capable of doing that task. They understand that they can create videos that speak, and self confidence went from low to super high. They said by the time that the
Awesome.
21st video, that it wasn't about the video anymore. It was about, man, I can talk about anything. I can go live. I
Nice.
can I can do I can put together some thought, make it fun, and show a side of me that others have not, because I was so scared that others would judge me. They've gotten past that.
That's awesome. I always tell people they crucified Jesus, so what are they gonna say about you? That goes.
I know.
And he was awesome, and they treated him like dirt. So I guess the new term is they ain't talking about you ain't doing something right. Keep moving.
We're if I read somewhere recently, the reason why we have problems is to help us grow and learn. And our purpose comes out of that. We learn what we have a passion. So if you had struggled with something, or you face an adversity and you see that something is missing, then you become compelled to be the answer. So for in my side of the story of this journey, it was, I wanted to bring a spotlight because I love bring helping others be able, they have a launch of a product, or they have a business, or they're trying to get more leads. The most that I can do is say, bring them on and ask them questions that get people intrigued to get them to want to work with them. Then there's the entrepreneur who's like, I want more visibility. How about using videos? Let's start with video. And then let's use video to help you get confidence so that you can go to a networking event and start talking to people. Let's get you on a stage on, and I also have somebody, if you are wanting to get on camera to be able to do public speaking gigs, I know an amazing coach. Her name is Nasheen. However, if you are stuck in where you are with the pain that you're feeling, you're never going to see what's really in store for you.
See, that's the Yoda game. I'm talking about. Can I make you feel comfortable? Let it just flow out. How'd you like being in the middle ground?
Repeat that again.
How'd you like being in the middle ground?
In the middle ground.
After the show.
I'm just kidding. It's amazing.
Like, did I say it wrong? I'm saying, like, did I just?
I had to give you a hard time. Come on. Your face.
I'm sitting here like.
So anybody who you got it, if you have not been on a live show, or if you are like, you know what, Shree's show is like way up there, don't think that. But if you believe that, start with Jeffrey, come to me, or start with me and then come to Jeffrey. The more times that you go live, the more times that you practice saying your story, practicing in front of the camera, practicing in front of others, the easier it gets. I even heard this, because this was a struggle for me even last year, and that is when we have a product or a service, it becomes difficult, because when it comes time to say, okay, now it's the offer, we get all quiet and small. But the more times you practice, this was from Myra Golden, he says, the more times you practice saying your offer, the easier it becomes. And then you learn, okay, maybe this offer is not for this crowd. Maybe I should say it like this. Maybe I should say it like that. But if you never get out there to talk about you, your story, your offers, nobody will know that you exist.
That's true. I see why your show is awesome as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Just picking with people, you ain't right. Hey, we worried for a second. But we definitely want to thank Next Level Consulting Agency founder and video marketing producer, Sheree Mahabir, being a great guest and his great knowledge, and for a great time of conversation.
Thank you for having me. This is very amazing. And I always say amazing to everything, but that's just how I feel about stuff. And if you guys want to know how I met Jeffrey, we met in an audio room. I would hear him speak. And then when he reached out to me to connect, I was like, yo, let's
do it. Yep. Yep. Shout out to Karen. She got nothing coming up. Karen. I ain't be able to get on this.
Get her on.
She been on here.
You gotta get her. You gotta get her on the show. You just have to go live earlier, because she's in the UK.
She has been on the show. Yeah, she's always welcome. All the time. They get both y'all on here. Y'all cause some trouble.
Yes, of course. Of course. We'll have lots of fun.
I'm gonna try to set that up. That's gonna be awesome. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. Check out the ground floor at 10:30. We have more great conversation. I'm have to get you on that show as well, because I see you funny. That's gonna be awesome. Get your take on different topics. Pretty awesome.
Come on.
Until next time, everybody.
Thank you so much.